All right. Welcome back, family. World peace and conflict. Iran. World peace and conflict. These things do not mix. They cannot mix. I want to thank all of you that came last night to the event when we did World Conflict Decolonization. And we talked about the colonizer. We did. It was we had a really good panel, last night, and a really good discussion. Some good things came out. I mean, good things always come out. And you have those that you agree with, and you have those that you disagree with. And that's just how it's going to be until we can actually rid the world of this plague, of this corruption, of this disease called colonization. I don't know if you all realize, I don't know if you realize it or not, but the sickness in the world, it really is due to colonization. Now, if anybody can point to something else for me, I would appreciate it. I'm truly open to understanding when we talk about the source of the problem, what that source is. And I'm pointing to the source of the problem being colonization and the corruption that's centered around colonization. This might be a paradox, but if colonization was working off of true principle and uprightness, then there may be some benefit to it. But it doesn't. It's actually in true form, to the definition or the explanation centered around the expectation for colonization. So above me, right here, right? We have Colonizer 1 and Colonizer 2. Batman and Robin. The Cape Crusaders. Uncle Sam and Is Not Real. Yeah. I got a little time this morning, in between, working right here, that I wanted to just come on and check the sentiment for just from what happened or how we dealt with things last night and just where we are, this morning, looking at the sequence of events, within the world today. You all, it's not getting better under the hand of the colonizer. It's bringing the concept of biblical prophecy into eye-popping proportion. Talking about the famines, the Philippines, if I'm not mistaken, they're now announcing all of the pain and hurt that the majority of their people are going to go through. And who's responsible? Who's the criminal? Like, everybody wants to take praise when it's going good and it's going well and we're doing this and we're doing that. But who's the cause of all this drama? So we do see Colonizer 1, we do see Colonizer 2, but what we don't see are those that are actually behind the scene, working and doing things. So let's see if we got somebody real right here. Jack. Is that Jack 47? Jack 47 going once. Jack 47 going twice. What you come up here for, Jack? You came up here to waste my time? All right, get out of here, Jack. You know, it's amazing. Either these are bots, you know, or people just don't have anything to do. But I've been getting an influx, you know, of either, like I said, these fake accounts, these bots, or, you know, trolls. And I just think there's so much more that you can do with your life. And the other part is like, it's a distraction because I can be on a roll and I'm trying to acknowledge, you know, different people as we can have this discussion, you know, as well, because these are serious times and people are hurting, you all, and there doesn't appear to be any relief in sight. But what I was talking about was the praise, all of the praise that go into success. All right. So, okay, I know what I was saying. Colonizer 1, colonizer 2. These are the ones that we can put our eyes on, we can see. But there's so much activity behind the scene that we're not privileged to. But these people, these organizations, they're working and they don't give a damn about humanity. Their aim or their goal is to grab as much money, wealth, resource that they can grab. And if it hurts, maim, injure, unalive a few people, a few thousand people, a few million people, they don't care. That's the colonizer. And for a number of you, the fact that they're generating wealth, it's like you've made that the reason for this to be okay, because livelihood. That's a mental health issue right there, for real. And on a grand scale, mental health, yeah, the world is definitely under some mental health issues. The mindset, the people, from a micro concept of mental health to a macro concept of mental health. And if we can allow ourselves to be seen as leptons within, you know, the scope of how that would ebb and how that would flow. The world is under some serious psychosis, mental health, depression, manic, schizophrenic, you know, you know what I'm talking about, right? But anyway, the colonizer, guys, you know, looking at how they've impacted the world and what needs to be done and who will really step up to do something, because it's like you all think this is going to resolve itself. Thank you for coming into the live. Thank you for coming into the live. You all tap the screen. It don't cost you nothing. Got a lot of people in the room once again. You know, I appreciate the consistency. I appreciate y'all showing up. The Daily Heart Me is up there. Tap the Daily Heart Me. And share the live, repost the live. Share the live, repost the live. Okay, so, you know, yesterday's discussion, it was a really good discussion as we talked about the colonizer. But it's as if you all think this thing is going to work itself out, like it's just going to get better, or because they've created this face of a board of peace, like they're really trying to get peace. That's the oldest trick in the book. For them to have peace, that means the rest of the world would have to be oppressed. That's peace. to the colonizer. And then for their friends, their cohorts, they would give them certain advantages. They would allow them to have certain liberties so they could say, oh, we're not oppressed. We're living good. Look at how we're doing. Oh, if you were only to pattern yourself in the manner and or way as we have, this could be you too. So that we can soften the blow to what's really happening, the oppression, the manipulation, all because of greed and the need to want to hoard resources or wealth, for the way a number of you would identify it. This is pure evil. Pure evil. With a smile on its face. Approaching as if it's kind, humble, and nice. But if it touch you, if it bite you, instantaneously, you fall into decay. Slowly. It's nothing like a, slow loss of life. You can feel it leaving your body. That's a different type of torture. But that's what we're kind of experiencing right now within the struggle of this mental health. Because we're trying to process our livelihoods and putting food on the table in conjunction with our daily morality and ethics. And for those that have moral and ethics, for those that do not have moral and ethics and don't give a damn about principle, there's so many more of them than they are of people that really are striving to stand on principle, that you get choked out, worn down, possibly converted to corruption. Can't take it no more. And this world, these societies, as I've pointed out before, they reward you for being corrupt. If you want to be corrupt like them, then you can get the bag. And that's why so many people on these platforms right now, they're con artists and they're hustlers, and, they're tricking people, out of their hard-earned living. They're all a part, it's all like a part of, that sickness, right? So these are just things that as a people we have to look at and come to understand. If we don't separate ourselves from the mindset, first of all, because decolonization, it first starts in the mind, being able to recognize that there's a problem. Now, methodically, the responsibility for each individual can actually do something to make a difference. Outside of that, you're kind of hypnotized and don't even know it. It would be like if you all have heard of the conspiracy theory, conspiracy, it's like, is it a conspiracy theory? Is it a conspiracy? But the mind control, the MK Ultra, projects that have been talked about for over 60 years, over 50 years, let me say it that way. But we do see certain evidence of it. So is it a conspiracy theory? Is it actual, conspiracies? Like we can't really tell what's real, what's fake anymore. That type of environment, it helps for the deceiver to thrive. And they focus on keeping the confusion going because within that chaos, they create an interesting style of order for themselves. In the process, destroying everything within its path, behind it, and what's before it. And this is what's so interesting about what we're witnessing and what we're going through is in real time, we're watching the collapse of civilization. And a number of you are in denial that this is happening. You have convinced yourself that this is going to work itself out. Just give it 4 more years. Hey, get the orange man out and let's get somebody else in, and that's going to resolve the problem. Voting is not going to change anything because the minds of so many people are corrupt. So the point of voting, that's not going to change, anything. And I know how much a number of you depend on those social constructs in order to maintain your sanity. I get it. But when we stop lying to ourselves and, come to realize that these things are not in position and or place to like truly help us benefit. And some of you do get a benefit, but to what cost? Have you really analyzed? To what cost? To what cost, to your offspring and their offspring and the generation to regenerations? That's a different type of outlook and responsibility that a number of us, I don't think we've really given deep thought into it. And guys, I'm not trying to sit up here like, I'm smarter than anybody or, trying to talk down on anyone. I'm just making a strict observation. And in making the strict observation, I've decided, right? I've decided I can't work with the oppressor. All right. Look like we might have our first guest on the stage. Gava Dog. Gava Dog going once, Gava Dog going twice. We're going to get Gava Dog up out of here. Okay. All right. I see we got a lot of people that are trying to come up on the stage in the box. I guess I'll get to you. So I'm just saying, once again, that's that distraction. Like take you off your thought, off your point. What was I saying? Let me see if y'all paying attention, in the chat. What was I saying? What was I, what point was I driving to? Okay. So, but, it's a different type, okay. I bet I get it right today. I bet I get that name right today. Raja.
Hi, how have you been? Thank you. I swear you got it right.
I've been working on it, Raja.
Thank you. I appreciate the effort. How have you been?
Doing good. Just sitting up here. I got about an hour and a half to try and talk about remedy, actually, and
Yeah.
looking solution based, like really what we can do to deal with the problem in the world, which is the colonizer and colonization. It's affecting you where you are. It's affecting me, where
Yeah, the
and so many other people. And yeah, so I'm just talking about it and highlighting some of the things we did in last night's discussion. We had last night. Yeah. Okay.
lots of people when they're in war, they tend to support their side as if they're watching a football game, not realizing that it's their lives getting lost in wars as well. One of them is somebody's child. They don't care if it's 15 and the other side has let's say, 3,000 dead. They view that as a win, which is a loss for both sides. I think we have been desensitized by viewing and seeing so much horrific things going on for the past 2 to 3 years. I definitely try to, watch myself to not desensitize and still keep my humanity intact. Because why would they portray so much violence while you aren't even allowed to watch it when you want to go to a movie theater and such? Even that has a purpose. Yeah. So yeah.
Absolutely. You know, absolutely. I'm
Yeah.
trying to get
Yeah.
some more folks up here on the stage also as I'm looking in this list of people that are coming up. All right, so let's see. Z, Z, did you want to add to the conversation, Z?
Good morning. Z from Ohio, Palestinian originally. How are you?
Fine, Z. How are you? What you want to
Good.
say?
All I gotta say, America, please wake up before it's too late. I've been here 30 years and I've seen it going downhill, nonstop. And
Mm.
with this Netanyahu shit that he came here, visited over 10 times to convince us to get in a war that has nothing to do with us, just for his greed to expand, it's not acceptable. Wake up, America. That's all I can say. You need to wake up. There is something. We give me one benefit, and this is done. You know why it's done now rapidly? Because finally, America as a country, have a good ally in the Middle East, like Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Iraq. They're good. They give us money. They give us business.
True.
What was this blue collar invented country doing to America? What they give us? Tell me. Beside headache and wars
And
and
slavery.
more and more wars. Come on.
Yeah,
Next is Cuba.
may I ask Z something? Like, this is really something that bothers me. Do you think that the United States have been taken over by them, or do you think Israel is just little America being run and
Israel is controlling our government. That has nothing to do with the people. People start waking up, understanding who's the right and who's wrong, who's the right side and who's the wrong side, who belong to the land and who doesn't belong. It doesn't take a rocket science to know that.
it
Stop
doesn't
bringing it.
even matter, I guess. It's not your issue as an American to think about who the land belongs to while your people are starving.
No,
You don't have
you
a
forgot.
healthcare system. Your
You
veterans
forgot
are out on the
the
streets.
you forgot the part. I'm a Palestinian American, so I saw both
Oh,
sides,
I see.
baby. So
My
I
bad.
understand what is going on there.
Yeah, yeah, I know, I know. No, I know. I'm not speaking on behalf of you. I'm speaking on behalf of the regular common civilians that they shouldn't be backing up a war that is not promoting their lifestyle in a better situation. Like, your healthcare system sucks. I know as a Turk that people come to fix their teeth in Turkey, and even the travel cost included will keep them be more beneficial. Like, they spend less getting their teeth fixed in another country. How bad can it be?
It's gonna get worse, buddy. It's getting worse. That's the problem. It's an average American. He's behind one check. He's gonna be bankrupt. I mean, we are on a thin line right now in the economy, and we still playing gambling game with this piece of shit Netanyahu.
I
To
don't
what? For what? Tell me what we doing there. Tell me exactly what you're gaining. You want access
nothing.
to the Middle East? You already have access. Trump went and took billions of dollars from Saudi and Qatar, and they was happy to gift him everything he wants.
You know what I
So when you
heard?
call about allies, he's already you got allies.
You know
So
what
what
I
we need?
heard?
Yeah.
The oil that they have intercepted from Venezuela is such a slug. is such it has such a potency that it needs like special equipment to withdraw those oil and petrol. But even if they do, to thin it out and dilute it will be more costworthy. The solution for that was the diluted natural oil and petrol that Iran has. Iran has been providing the solution by making it be diluted with their oil and petrol. So basically, in order for the United States to be able to actually gain win and not have so many costs to intercept the oil from Venezuela, they need the oil from Iran. It has much more reasons than only missiles. That's just bullshit. There is an international law and order taken in place that your missile can be in place if it's not further than 2,000 kilometers, which they already declared while Khomeini was alive. And it's been said that the island wasn't pew-pewed by Iran, as NATO couldn't confirm. That already says a lot.
I don't want to interrupt you, but to add.
Hold on 1 second, Z. Hold on 1 second. You guys are making some great points. I got a couple other people that just came on stage. I want to acknowledge, them as well. But you asked the question about the U.S. government, Z, and I've just been kind of pointing out that while folks are looking at regime change and coups, it's like a regime change has taken place in the U.S., unbeknownst to a lot of people, because I just use this factor that all presidents and all times before, they used the Congress to initiate, conflict, or that was the thing that they would use to say they're going to go ahead. This is the first time that it has never happened, and folks can't understand why it can't happen, and they can't stop it, and they're seeing that this is a part of the executive branch. It's like, when did that shift come into place? And you may consider it not to be a regime change, but from a fundamental sense of how things were going for hundreds of years before, this is a drastic and or dramatical change, and not a shot was fired, no blood, was drawn. These folks have figured out how to interject themselves into world governments to influence and get people to do their bidding. And they don't care about law. International, they don't care about law. All they've made their law they've made their policies the law right now, and that's what they rule by, and everybody else is then ruled by the law, but it doesn't apply to them. Let's see, we got Holly, and then High Spirit, and then let's see what NSWP would have to say. High Spirit.
My brother, I'm just, slowly following the conversation and all that. Everybody is contributing to it. I'm way far from in Africa now. What I gotta contribute to this conversation is that the world needs peace. We don't need wars, and there has never been a military solution to all this thing that is going on. You got it. Resistance is mindset. You can't change people's mindset by bombing them. No, it's not possible. There's so much loss of life across, the Middle East. It's been Middle East, Middle East, Middle East, Middle East. And ask yourself, what is the gain? What is the gain? What does the state, United States, benefit from Middle East? What is their gain? What did they gain? After all these long time wars, in Afghanistan and all that. I mean, this time around, I think people have woke up from their sleep. We no longer buy the bullshit they said, the propaganda they send online. Oh, this is that, this is that. Starting with Gaddafi. What did they say about Gaddafi? What did they say about Saddam and all that? I mean, we've jumped past that. Now the world is awake. We can see who is making this trouble all over. So if they say regime change, why don't we try regime change on the other side? Let's try regime change in Israel and let's see. How about that too? You got it. I've had an opportunity to be with my American friends, and I asked them about healthcare situations and all that. It's more like Africa here. it's getting close to Africa. I can even pay for my health care without having no troubles. But ordinary civilian in America, he finds it very difficult. And even as of now, I've been reading news that even their 401k in America, people, the elites are trying to take that from them too. So it's not good. I think we should seek peace instead of destruction, and so many lives. That's my contribution.
Okay, thank you, High Spirit. And we all put ourselves out there to say, we should seek peace, but when it comes to like really understanding what it means to achieve peace, that's where we start falling short because we think it's the responsibility of somebody else to usher it in. Like we're expecting the colonizers to usher in peace when they're the ones that are a part of the problem. And this is what I was saying. They use the face of, hey, I'm going to create this border, but it's really to only further, their destruction and their heartache. Let's go to NSWP, if I said that right. Yeah, NSWP.
NSWP is at the front lines of what we are supposed to be doing, but the reality is we are growing rapidly. And yeah, I'm against the decolonization of evil, let's say, right? But sometimes the perception of what is evil is actually misconstrued by these same people you are against. So which side are you on, host? I'm just trying to figure it out here.
So let me make sure I heard you correct because I think you may have stumbled in your word just a little bit. You're against the decolonization of
Wrong.
evil. Huh?
Wrong. You did not
No, that's
comprehend
what
what
you
I
said.
said.
That is what you said.
Absolutely not. I said that there are a lot of people who are against it. Not
Oh,
me. I am at the front lines of doing so.
okay. All right. It almost sounds like you said you're against
But
the
the same people fighting these people are the same people that these people will call the colonizer. They're playing a very, very high level, multi-dimensional warfare type of
yeah.
thing, right? Fifth dimensional warfare here.
Double game.
So yeah, I mean, honestly, I think most of the people on our own side, supposedly, are our own worst enemies. That's why they are winning. They're better organized. They have better meta-political structure and strategy. And yeah, all we can do is try to do things on a grassroots level. I mean, NSWP is growing rapidly. We're growing hundreds and hundreds of people per day. So I don't know what you're doing, host. Shout out to you. And I hope you keep going. I hope you're a good one, right?
Okay. Well, in the point of answering your question, what I do, I mean, this is what I've been doing. Now, obviously, this is your first time, up on this panel, but we're focused on decolonization. We're focused on understanding the world has been colonized, and decolonization first starts, in the mind. So just getting people to recognize these positions and then decide what they're going to do, because although you can call and or you say you're on the front lines, a lot of people don't want to do that work, and a lot of people would rather stay where they are because it's comfortable. So it makes what you're professing that you do and what I do, it just makes it that much more challenging. But at the end of the day, we look to align ourselves with others that are doing the work. Let's see. Sheik
Hello, how are
says,
you?
how are you? What you want to add to the conversation?
I agree with you. Like, the U.S., but I think the U.S. what is happening? It's like the common people are being awakened, but like, political structure wise, no one can get into power unless they support these people. Like even Mamdani, I think he's backtracked on like the whole issue, like a bit. Like he's been silent on it, and he got like sworn in by a couple of the tribesmen and people like that.
Mhm.
So it's tough. It's a bit tough.
It's a true thing that they will reward you if you maintain the corruption, but if you're actually trying to have positive impact, then they use all of their resources to shut you down. And until we understand how to network together to overcome that, yeah, we're just like, we're just in a barrel waiting to be plucked out. And they depend on that type of behavior from us as a people, as a society. I mean, that's how they thrive. All right, we got Iboli. Iboli. Okay, then we have okay. All right, so they jumped off. That's good. So but yeah, with respect to the colonizer one and colonizer two, I just say to you guys, these are the ones that we can see. These are the ones that they've put out in the forefront, for us to recognize. But it's an entire global system, and these people are not going to give us peace. They only know destruction, death. You know, all things to their benefit, and if you do not allow them, to have that position over you, then they don't care about you, your family. I mean, they will take your life and they will starve you out. And that's the epitome of evil that we're looking at, that we're dealing with. Thank you all for coming into the live. Share the live, repost the live, tap the screen, guys. It doesn't cost you anything. We got a lot of people in the room right now. So,
Well,
in wait, hold on one second. Oh, we got a Joshua. I ain't seen you come up, Joshua.
Hi, how are you?
Good. What you want to add to the conversation?
Oh, I just wanted to say, bro, everything you're saying is true. Like, it's really based. I just wanted to say that. That's all. I was wondering
Okay.
if it's cool if I can like stay up on the panel, or if you like if I didn't know if you wanted people to like debate to only come up on the
No,
panel.
no, I'm not really looking for no debates. We're just looking to hear people's thoughts, and then if we're able to rebuttal, we will rebuttal. So you can hang out on the stage. We got
All right, thank you.
Alco, Alco or Alico.
Hello, hello, yes. Hello, salam alaikum. All of you guys, how are you guys
All right.
around the world?
Wa
yeah.
alaikum
Yeah,
assalam.
yeah. I would like to say, first of all, these two people, they are too evil. They are messing up the world, the whole world. You know what I'm saying? In my life, I went different country, the whole world, and I came America like almost I'm here 3 years, but the way they brainwash it, this American is like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah. So
Assalamu
yeah,
alaikum. May I ask his
alayk salam,
ethnicity? Where
alayk
where did
salam.
you, where did you travel from, brother?
I went to Islamabad. I went to China, and now I am in Chicago. I went to Los Angeles. You know what I'm
No,
saying? But
what
the
is
way
your
when
ethnicity?
my ethnicity is, these people, they are messing around the whole world. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
what's
Those
your
two people,
ethnicity?
those two picture,
No. Which country are you from?
Johannesburg.
Why'd you go to
You South African?
what's wrong with
Yeah,
Johannesburg? Why'd you leave?
Lots of
born in
violence, maybe.
Johannesburg.
Yeah.
No,
So,
it's not violence. One side is good, one side is bad.
dus je spreekt
Everything they messing,
Afrikaans?
even Trump messing around there.
Yeah. I can speak
South
Afrikaans too.
Africa. Yeah,
Yeah, good to know you. I
I
was just
speak.
wondering if you came from a Muslim country or any other area.
Alhamdulillah, I'm Muslim country.
Alhamdulillah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So let me say this. Thank you, Ali Cole.
yeah. Ali, my name is
Ali,
Ali.
Ali,
Yes.
thank you, Ali. Raja, she know I'm big on trying to get your name right. I don't want this. These. little acronyms and stuff that we be using up here, sometimes it's a little difficult, but I'll do what I can to
It's
get your
okay.
name.
We appreciate it.
But I did want to say, as Ali pointed out, colonizer one, colonizer two, they're, at fault and they're to blame. And I'm just saying, guys, these are just the ones that are visible. And they're a part of a broader problem. Systemically, globally, it's a broader problem. And for that reason, I'm pointing out that we have to create a different class or style of network or networking that we're collectively focused on ending the colonization or looking at decolonization and how we can be effective against the things that they're doing. Because if we don't consider it from that standpoint, there is nothing or no one that's coming to a rescue. We will just continue to be the recipients of their harm. Let's see, we got Effortless that's on the stage. Welcome back, Effortless. What would you like to add? Effortless once, effortless twice. All right, we're going to go to the next person to see who we got. Just trying to make sure I see everybody. Okay, so now we have by the Bay. Bay by the Bay going once. Bay by the Bay going twice. All right, let's go with no C. No C.
All right, man. I'm gonna drop. You have a good day.
I appreciate you.
I shake.
See you.
See you.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
And bye bye.
May I add like my personal experience as a Turk from that region. I used to live there, but I'm in the Netherlands, Europe now. For those who, they just simplify it and make it be seen as if we are just hating Americans in general. Your atrocities, like the Western discourse is not able to be honest and have honesty, engagement, or even be able to portray anything if it's against their mythology or ideology, then it's their brutality that starts coming up. As a Turk, we know that we have had coups ever since the 60s. Like every 10 years there was a coup, and they would be assigned by the Americans, and whoever it would be, it was never beneficial for the regular civilians, because every coup put your country and the economy like 20 years back. We have had that happen to us until Erdogan. Even with Erdogan, they tried to. And in the end, they put the Turks against ISIS. Then they be weaponized the PKK members, whatever they call. They may call them like free Kurdish militias or whatever. It's not it. Because basically, Turkey is your ally. What you're doing is, on the border of Turkey, you'll be weaponizing their national terrorist. It is their national terrorist for your own benefit. Why? To keep in check the Syrian oil. We haven't met the Americans just now with Iran or with Palestine. We know about your atrocities for years. We just want you to stay in your own lane and let the people decide whoever they want to appoint as their leader. Just like with Egypt, they had their first appointed president, Morsi. He was the elected one. He got unalived. They put Sisi in trade. Now Egypt is working along for whatever benefits Israel and the United States. These things have been planned and been orchestrated way before we could even imagine. Ever since 1933, it was the Zionists taking over and deciding for you to intervene with the World War II. There are so many things that we foresee. Nothing has to do with ideology, not liking each other, or religion. Like Donald Trump's son-in-law got rich in one night because he knows where to put his money in and get it multiplied before they make a decision. And what's happening with the common people of the United States? Nothing. You suffer more and more. You guys need to be organized. You can change it.
You pointed out that thing about Donald Trump's son. Folks don't know they're in front of what they call these prediction markets, and You know,
Yes.
they're making these bets, and I just think it's insane that they can do this stuff in our face, and we
Yeah.
don't call it out. You know, we act like there's something good to it. Let's go to no see.
All right.
Right.
So
What
I
you want
just
to add
wanted
to the
to
conversation?
add in a couple of things. And we're bringing up the history. If you guys ever want to go down the rabbit hole, you can look up VOC, which is the United East India Company. It was established in 1602, talking about the sex slave trades, and everything through Europe and Asia. So, and this was including the Netherlands and everything like that. So, this has been going on a lot longer than just the basic of World War One and Two. So, I think you guys should take a look into that. And as far as like the market and people getting rich, the market's open to everyone. And I'm not going to lie, Trump's been very transparent about what stocks he's been getting into and which industries are about to get hit. So, I mean, like if you're losing money in the market, it's because you're not putting yourself and positioning yourself to where you need to be. Just my opinion on that.
007. All right, 007, James Bond once. 007, James Bond. Go ahead.
Hello, how are you?
Good. What you want to add to the conversation?
Good, good. Welcome.
Thank you. I have only one question. Are you think about this war this time is only free Iran or Trump think about USA or problems about dollar?
I think you're asking the benefits to this war. Yeah, again, my perspective is the colonizers are just looking to like spread their control. You know, it's like they're looking to have another country and or people under their control. And some folks, I mean, I get it. You know, we can't see it that way, and we don't believe that to be the case or the point, or it's about democracy and freeing people. But no, they are, as the gentleman just came on and talked about a company that's been around since the 1600s. This is full of logos and corporations, and these are all people behind the scene that they have this this network, and their gain, their point or their interest is to control the world, period. And they don't care about your family. If you make a little bit, don't make a little bit. In the end, they'll reward you if you side with their corruption. If you don't, they'll use all of their resources and all of their persuasion to destroy you. And that's just it. They don't care about a Persian people, a Cuban people, an American people, if there really is such a thing. You know, they don't care about the heritages of antiquity. They don't care about none of that. All they're concerned with is growing their wealth and, suppressing, oppressing, and controlling the world until they can't no more. And when they can't is when we do realize what it means to network and speak out against it outside of being, under the addiction to it.
I have one question more. If you see Google, example, benzene price February in Europe, example in Germany and in America, it's more, and in England, it's down. Why?
What was that? What was the
Benzene price. Why? In
you're talking
all the
about
country, example, in Europa, in Germany,
Benzene,
or
he
in
mean
America,
gas.
it's up, more expensive. Why in England it's down? You can
yeah.
look in Google, benzene price, February, and Merz is different in
Yeah.
Europa and in England, in America. Why
But
in
they,
England is
Yeah,
dog.
because Zionists
but they own
created chaos
BP.
the whole world.
But
Zionists create the whole world chaos, so that's why. And they're messing with the wrong government. So
You
you
have the
know,
answer. Answer is because everything in world is politics only about England. England play everything and it's same with David.
H-men go and then put them into like camps
may I
during World War
reply?
II before the
because
state of
of
Israel. Yeah, they're just innocent angels before the state of Israel. You guys are
no,
really
they
right.
are not
Yeah, Zionism
innocent.
is the only thing they've done that's bad. Yeah, for sure, for
No,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
no,
yeah.
no. May I
Jesus
Zionists,
reply?
Christ.
hey, Zionists came
My
from
goodness.
Germany. Then these people was welcomed by Palestine. So
Come
Palestine,
from
they
anywhere,
welcome
dude.
their home, and then
They're ruthless.
they
They don't
try
have a
to use.
homeland.
Hold on,
Dude, you're a
Yeah,
Yeah, they don't have
Zionist.
yeah.
homeland.
You're a
Yeah,
Zionist,
that's
buddy.
why.
You're a
May I
Zionist.
reply? Can we reply one by one on this question? It's a good one.
hold on. We don't run this forum. We don't run this stage like that with 20 people trying to talk at one time. Okay. We do allow for people to have their thought, have their say, but when everybody is just jumping off their mic, it's too much confusion. Can't understand, anything. So, um, the
Yes, you're
question was
right.
the question was asked, why does the cost of benzene or gas is different from, one region to the next? And there could be different answers, to that, but one observation, and then we'll open it up to the panel that you guys can, add your observations. But one observation is, again, they control, this market. And for such a long time, it was locked in at one price. It wasn't moving this way or that way. And now, they have a venue to where, they're able to make their money. And throughout time, we can see these cycles, how they happen and how they use their influence to make certain things transpire on the global stage that we think is just organic or natural, but these things are orchestrated and they have so much money that they can pull it off into the untrained eye. And for those of us that are just trying to make a living, it's hard to see it because we just don't believe that there's that type of, evil, in the world. So, yeah, the market is owned, the market is controlled, and this is an opportunity for them to get money to where they've been, just letting it slowly move in the background. But now, when you talk about the U.S. spending billions of dollars in a war effort or what they're calling conflict, because don't know if you can call it war or conflict. I mean, there's so much confusion. But in the end of the day, that money is going into somebody's corporation. Somebody just got paid off of the destruction, off of the hurt, and off of, that pain from some other family and, and or some other heritage. So I'll open the stage up. Who wants to speak about that and or interject with something else into the conversation? Oh, yeah, go ahead, because I think everybody else is. Oh, one thing, guys. Dark King just came to the stage. Let's give Dark King a chance. Dark King, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Just curious if everyone here is anti-Zionist, or if that's the focus of the discontent.
I mean,
Your
the
your
host has to
concern.
Will
introduce
it
me yet, so
determine
I'll
your
be
act?
quiet.
I don't know. Yeah.
Your okay. Well, let me say this. Okay, because this is my panel. I open this up. This panel is not about Zionists. I open this panel up to hear discussion at this point in time about different world events, and we're focused now on decolonization and or the colonizer. So that's kind of what we've been talking about, for the past like month or so. So we're not here to talk about Zionism, although it does come up. So what would you like to add to the conversation, if anything?
Well, in my opinion, if that's the focus here, I would view both Zionism and Judaism as colonizer ideologies, because they both believe that they are owed a piece of land in the Middle East, and they'll both return and do what they have to do to secure that land and make it theirs. So, yeah, that's how I feel about it.
These things happening in real time, before, our eyes. And this is what I'm saying. They have an interesting network. And again, we really can't see a number of the people that are truly involved, the amount of businesses that are interlinked. And this is what they do. They're not going to give us world peace unless world peace means more oppression, for another heritage and or lineage of people. That's the only way it's going to be peace. And through the concept of European superiority, that they stay on top. They got to stay on top, and they got to call the shots. Nothing applies to them. Everything applies, to you. And it's just how long do we let this go before we realize it's up to the people? I've heard this term, power to the people, or, the people are the government. It's like, where is it? These things are in theory. Folks have really abandoned the post and or position. Not everybody, but the majority of people have been abandoned the post and or position to govern and to deal with government uprightly and or correctly.
May I add to that?
Sure.
While they were making the constitution, they were already going against their own regulations, and the way they, portrayed democracy to be was already not taking place by then. I view it as you being trapped in a golden cage and being viewed nice images of the world as if you're free. You're not free. You're anything but free. And they decide whoever gets to be, a member, or whoever gets to be a candidate for us to pick, even if they become a candidate. How long will it take for them to actually be in control of the beneficiaries or the investors? It's always have been, for whatever they can gain from us. I agree. I used to be naive and think that, they get appointed by us, so they should work for us. We have lost the plot somewhere that we all have become a slave to the system and working for the politicians instead, while they start wars and shipping their own kids and family to safety when shit hits the fan.
Kind of deserve to be their slaves at this point. They're honestly, like, they are better than us. They're more organized. They have a better structure. And yeah, we deserve all of this. And honestly, at this point, I do wish a lot more pain to come from them. So in a sense, you kind of have to root for your enemy until you can have actually a better solution coming forward. Because then more people will join NSWP, and then we can do the Fourth Reich again, right?
What is NSWP?
This time we will win, right?
What is it though you're promoting?
Hold on one second. I really don't know who this guy is, but he's promoting something real hard, on my page. And hold on one second. I don't know who he is, but he's really using my page to promote something really hard. And we haven't had a chance, you all, to talk about who he is or what he is. So I don't support it. I don't acknowledge it, and I don't appreciate people trying to use my platform to promote, their agendas when we can continue to talk about the issue, at hand, and
Briefly
be
explain. I can briefly
and
explain and
and
land my
and
plane here quickly.
hold on one second, and and we can still, come to the sense of what needs to be done. Okay. Um, let's see. I just want to make sure I'm not forgetting nobody because Azula just came onto the stage. Azula, what would you like to add to the conversation?
Yeah.
I have one question
So
more. I have one
yeah, okay, I'm
question more,
waiting.
sir.
I'll wait.
What brings people into the
Azula,
See,
go ahead.
so this is exactly the reason why I'm not on TikTok anymore because people talk over each other. It's just weird. The guy beneath me is 100% right, although you don't know the point. The thing that is 100% the truth is within the Talmud. It says that they treat all of us as goy. They sacrifice children, and Donald Trump, whatever he is, and those so-called
Azula, let me just interject for a second. We have to be careful. We have to be
I am
careful
being
with our
careful.
TikTok
I'm being
vernacular. Hold
careful.
on, Azula. I'm gonna let you talk. I'm gonna let you talk. I'm saying we just have to be careful with our TikTok vernacular when we start talking about their rituals. And although what you're saying has its base, you got to put stuff like allegedly in front of
I
it.
don't
Otherwise,
have an IQ of 80, sir, host. I don't have an IQ of 80, so I'm careful with my words. But these are just facts. It's within the Talmud.
okay. I can appreciate people coming up on the stage and sharing their thoughts, and you guys know I encourage people to have their thoughts, but that type of disrespect, I'm
Thank
trying
you.
to explain what I need or what I would like to make this forum run, and you think you're just going to talk over, me. I can't go for it, like that. I can respect the difference, in opinion, and we can have a healthy discussion, but come on, guys.
Yes.
So let me just say this with NSWP, he was expressing how, we need more pain. And I just want to say you have an interesting way of saying or getting to what you want to get to. And I get what you're saying. And it's like, folks will have to be put in that position before they realize they have to do something, which is a reactionary behavior outside of people, being proactive and being in front of it. And that's a problem. We do have it. So let's open up the stage. I think Ali wanted to make a comment. Go ahead, Ali.
Yes, sir. What can I don't know what I would like to say about because the media they about United States they brainwash the people. They don't teach the reality, and Iran is fighting for liberation in the whole world. And then this war started by to cover something up. I think so, like that F-steam file. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some people they want to use a power. And Malcolm X say before, if you don't be careful about the media, you're gonna hate the people who was oppressed, and you're gonna love the people doing oppressive. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think it's too general to say Iran is fighting for all of us. We know that I'm a Turk, and most Gulf countries have never been in peace with Iran. Iran has always, like, the regime isn't our favorite, let's be honest. I support Iran, I support their sovereignty and stuff. I don't support the regime. The fact is that the regime has done more harm to the Sunni Muslims in the region than maybe Israel has ever since of centuries. They always were in better with the Ottoman Empire. They were in better with the Seljuks Empire. Them pew-pewing the Gulf nations is almost, it almost seems like it's doing the work of Israel because it's in their benefit as well. I'm not saying they're working together, of course. I stand for Iran
How?
all
The
day.
Gulf states, they're all
So
proxies of
so so
Israel.
Yes, but that's why, no, Israel is also not really in favor of them because they're kind of jealous for the gains they inherit in the region. They want that part to be in control of them as well. They do in some way because they've been created by the British Empire. They basically are in
Which parts?
the whole Gulf nation, like the
Yeah, yeah.
UAE and
You're
stuff.
delusional. You're crazy.
I'm
I'm
fine.
crazy. Saudi Arabia has been created because
Raj, yeah, I'm sorry. Hey, NSWP, do me a favor. While she's talking, let her get her thoughts out. Once she gets finished, then you can rebuttal if you want. But yeah, let's try not to talk over, one another. We can do that. Just hold your thought until she get finished. Like when you talk, I don't let people interrupt you. So, Raja, go ahead, finish your thought.
well, thank you. Calling me crazy for naming the obvious for all Muslims of that region. The Gulf and UAE is working for Brits and the Americans. They have been created by them. They get their protection by them. If they don't pay off, just like they did with the last time Trump visited with the 2 billion, 1 billion and stuff, that is extortion money. That is money to be left alone by the Americans and be protected by them because unfortunately, what the Muslims throughout ages have never figured out is to develop, guns or arms and such. We have not. We have been too late in the scene with that. So you may say I'm crazy. We know who's been running the UAE and the Gulf nations. It's not for the Muslims. It's not by the Muslims. And I'm not saying that it should be a Muslim nation, but if you want to put on a costume of the Muslim and pretend you are, then we are getting fooled. And I feel the need to mention this.
Can we let my associate King speak? I think he represents.
Can you let me run the platform and I appreciate you.
I got
And
a
Thank you. I let
question.
him get his claim out.
okay, hold on. Just let me let's see. So someone just came up on the stage. It's C4T, and you say you have some associate name. Oh, you're talking about the King. Okay, so let's get C4T, and then we'll go to the King.
Okay, I got a real question to Razia. And don't you think it's bigger than being Muslim at the end of the day?
What is
Like,
bigger?
why is it important that it's like Muslim? At the
You,
end of the day,
you
it's like
know,
everybody's human.
yeah, of course. You know why? Because they will run their government with Islamic regulations and stuff, as if it is. Like it's not totally there,
Ah, okay,
but they
now I see your point.
identify as such. That's why it's important. I'm against mixing religion and politician together. Like it takes the holiness away. One is objective, one is subjective. It's a personal thing. I'm against it, but they hide under the cover of being an Islamic nation. That's why.
Okay, that was my own.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Let me kind of say this. Let me kind of say this to kind of keep things flowing and in order. You guys come up on the stage. It's your opportunity to speak, and then you want to ask somebody a question on the panel, and then the moment they get to answering, you start like trying to interject. It's like that causes confusion. Either you come on, you say what you got to say, and then let somebody then respond to it, or if you ask them a question, let them answer the question until they finish without interrupting. Otherwise, it just creates confusion. All right, so now let's go to the King. See what the King want to
Uh,
add.
yeah,
I
I'm
got
gonna.
one question.
Go ahead.
The King.
My question is, for example, if you went, I went like, for example, multi countries, and you know what I'm saying? The life will teach you, even the school will not teach you. For example, if you go Middle East, like Iran or Yemeni or Iraq, any other country, they will welcome you no matter who you are. They will respect you as long if you are not with Zionist or this liar stuff. You know what I'm saying? But if you come United States and the people they are not friend even. If you go East Africa, if you go South Africa, Johannes, I went South Africa. The people is a different, friendly brother. They live to eat together. help each other. But these people in United States, they create hate, everything, propaganda, something. The whole world, they create scare and all chaos. The other thing, Iran, if you go Iran, this the government now for Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, those government, they are very good. They are not bad. They are 100%. They, and Israel, they are threatening West country. They are threatening more than 2 decades since the other regime. You know what I'm saying? So the Muslim or Christianity is nothing to do with this, or Jewish, because before Jewish, Muslim, Christianity, or whatever, Sunni, Shia, they used to live peace and respect in Palestine. Do you know the largest Jewish live in Iran and this regime, and nobody violated, nobody did anything to them, but the people, the neighbor, you see how they treat about Israel, the Palestine, how they did to, you know what I'm saying? If you need to sometimes think about Mr. Raisi, look very careful about the media, what they do and what they don't want you to know, and what they want you to know. It's a two different. And what their life teach you, and you know.
Okay. Hold on, Ali. Let's give the king his chance because he was supposed to speak, and I think he pulled back to let you go. Now go ahead, the king, and make your expression.
Thank you. Right. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do this really articulate, real sweet, real quick. Okay. So all these nations, the world at large, is this is the victim to a global disease. There is a system, a very complex system of very elite, upper echelon people who are running institutions in various nations around the world. They are running these institutions with a particular set of interests that never coincide interests of those nations. So America, the UK, all these nations in the Middle East, these entities, for a long time, people called them out, but they were just never accurate enough. Remember, tens of years ago, they called them the Illuminati. They said it was, this shadow government. More recently, they called it the deep state. These things are real. It is a real entity. What people aren't understanding is that this entity, this sort of fifth column that operates in all these nations, are one thing ties them all together. They are all Jewish. Now, whether you feel comfortable admitting that or recognizing that is one thing, but we have the receipts. We're at a time where we know who runs the media. We know who's buying up all social medias. We know who. Please let me cook, bro. Please,
No,
Bugsy. Of course, yeah, yeah. I know who this guy.
hold on, Doc King. Hold on, Doc King. You're going to get to finish your thought, and this guy, Bugsy. Listen, man, this is your first time on the stage. Don't come off your mic. Don't interrupt my guest. You're going to get a chance to speak. Otherwise, you can just let yourself down. The King, you're making some real good points, right
Yes.
here. And I can agree with what you're saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, so everything we're seeing today, the Epstein case, the Iran war, the toppling of the Venezuelan government, the conflict in Ukraine, all these things are tied together. And Bugsy, I know you hate me, bro. You're an Israeli Zionist. I know you hate me because what I'm striking at is the core of what you represent. And what I'm talking about is Jewish supremacy, bro. It is a supremacist system. When you have people like David Ellison, who are billionaires, these are men, the second richest man in the world, billionaires who takes their money.
The King, one more time. Let me just try this one more time. Bugsy, I'm for real, man. I want you to be on the stage. I want you to be able to get your point out. Please don't come off your mic again until.
You didn't say nothing, man. I just my camera open. That's it.
Okay, well, keep your camera. Keep your mic closed. I keep closing your mic. and you keep opening it. I'm just saying, let this guy finish, and then you'll have an
Yeah,
opportunity to speak. I promise you. And I
yeah.
won't
I'm
take
almost done.
time from
I'm
you. Go
I'm
ahead, the king.
almost done cooking. Let me just let me
Go
set the
ahead.
temperature here. Okay, we're back to
Go
sizzling.
ahead.
So when you have people who are the heads of corporations, the heads of institutions, they all work together for singular purposes, even though they may not be aligned perfectly. So, for example, when you have the second richest man in the world, Larry Ellison, who is an American Jew, and he takes his wealth and he uses it with the government's help to acquisition TikTok, so that you can, so he advances this sort of Zionist agenda where, he's best friends with Netanyahu. So they don't want certain type of things discussed on TikTok. This is why on these panels, we have to be careful about what we say about that country and what's happening there, right? So this is an American Jew. But then you have someone like Miriam Adelson, who is an Israeli J. Now she comes to America and funds Donald Trump hundreds of millions of dollars. Why does she do this? Well, she has a particular interest. All of these people have a particular interest, and that interest is the Jewish interest. It is the Israeli interest. It is a Jewish supremacist system that is functioning internationally. And what we're seeing today is the result of that. The Epstein thing, the Iran war. People have been asking, why are we in Iran? What benefit does this do to us? It has no benefit for us. You will not, as an American, you will not get cheaper gas. You cheaper housing. Your life will not be better, but the Israelis will. They'll get cheaper.
Hey,
They'll
Doc,
benefit
Tala,
greatly.
tala,
Okay.
wrap it
So
up,
yeah,
wrap
yeah.
it
Just
up, wrap
Doc
it
King,
up.
he did it. Doc King, he did it. Doc King has caused the page to be restricted because he didn't understand he needed to say allegedly. Although he was cooking, he really was
He
cooking.
wasn't cooking, man. Who's this
You know,
cooking?
he was cooking. He
Cooking
was
who,
cooking.
man? Cooking who, man?
Hold on. I'm gonna let you
Living in
speak.
conspiracy?
I'm gonna let you speak, Bugsy. I'm gonna let you speak. He was cooking because he was talking about the interest that these different entities have, and
How
I've
many
spoken
entities he has?
in time.
Cooking
Come
who?
on, Bugsy. Come on. I'm gonna give you a chance to speak. Just hold on. I've spoken, different times talking about various interests, even in America, the interest of the government, and just saying no one really understands what these interests are, but they'll say it. It's like a broad term, but we really haven't come to understand who is really getting the benefit, from the interest. So the king was doing his thing. I hate that I had to take him, off of the stage in SWP. If that's your man, if that's your friend, tell him I said follow me. I'd like to have him back up to talk some more about the interest and the different networks that he was speaking. Okay, Bugsy, it's your time. Let's hear what you got to say, Bugsy. And then we're
Listen,
gonna go
how do you
to
want? Listen again. It's
then
it's
we're
it's
gonna go to
19
Iraq.
it's 1930 all over again with all the anti-Semite conspiracy that we're controlling the banks and we're controlling the media. The fact that you are here telling what you believe, even though we know that is a false claim, you still in saying what you want to say about how Jewish are the responsible for all the atrocities around the world and how we actually conduct war and we control the money and we control the media. It's all bullshit. Most of the biggest bank actually owned by Christian or Chinese. You can actually verify that. Actually, just look at it. Who's the biggest owner of the bank in the world? It doesn't send Jews. Also with national communication. Bullshit, man. Where you bring this shit? So there is rich Jewish around the world. There's also Christian. There is also Muslim. Why to bring all that is shitty in your life on the Jews, man? It was a blood label. It's been speaking about this blood label for centuries. Now it's not about us drinking Christian blood in Passover. Now we actually how we controlling the banks of the world and actually how we drive America go into war that doesn't want. This is bullshit, man. As long as you're going to keep this belief, none of your life going to be actually better because you dealing yourself with conspiracy and such a bullshit. When a man become paranoid, He doesn't have a good
Can
life.
I respond?
You
Bugsy,
understand?
I honestly want my life to
Hold on. Please let him finish his thought, and then you'll get to respond. I can't bring you back up, Doc King. I can't bring you back up. They flagged you. Um, Go
At
ahead,
the end,
Buck.
this is a
Finish your
this at
thought.
the
Then I'm
at
gonna
the
have
end at the end this is a
rebuttal.
classic conspiracy against Jews. The only reason that we are successful in our life because we are very educated. We are working
Jews
hard
are
for our living.
terrorists. Jews are
Yes,
terrorists.
yes, yes. Of
Jews
course,
are
we know.
terrorists.
And what you can do about it? You cannot do shit.
Okay, I'm gonna
Only
just
talk.
stop this right. I'm just gonna stop this right now because this ain't gonna do nothing but get out of control.
They start a war.
Hold on. I'm gonna let NSWP rebuttal what Bugsy was saying, and we're gonna then let because we got one other person that came up and they've been waiting so patiently, Arad. But go ahead and rebuttal NSWP.
Yeah, it's undoubtable that we have corruption in the economic and financial system, and these people are literally behind the center of it. It's not even that they have the money, it's how they distribute it, it's how they control it, it's how they market make everything. It is corrupt, it is a rigged system, people know it, people are confused and wandered around into different segments. Oh, I think this is a solution, I think this is a solution. Well, there was a solution long ago, the Third Reich. They did things pretty well, but the problem is people fought against each other. We fight against each other like, oh, is it the Democrats? Oh no, it's the Republicans. Well, no, it's just the fucking Jews, stupid. It's that fucking parasite that was just up here. Hitler was
I
Yeah,
hate to do
blame
it to
all your
you.
problems on someone
I
else.
hate to do
That
it
your
to you.
life is worthless and you can't do shit.
Hold on. I hated to do it to you, NSWP, but it's almost like you guys are trying to get me shut down. It's like you're trying, to get me flagged, and I'm not gonna let it happen. If you can't maintain your TikTok etiquette to be able to say what you need to say, then I can't have you up here, on the stage. I do want people to say what they want to say, so we're gonna let Irad. Arad is now going to come in, and then we got Peter John. Go ahead, Arad.
Welcome, Bira Charm.
Hey, so hi, nice to meet you. I'm Irad. I live in Israel. I was born here. You said a lot of stuff. I read them online also.
Where
I
you
wanted.
born? Where you born?
I was born here in Israel.
Oh,
Ali, do me
okay.
a favor. Do me a favor, Ali. Stay on your mic and let him get his thoughts out. Go ahead, Arad.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Go
Yeah.
ahead, Arad.
So first of all, you said like this war is not American interest. I think this is false. And I don't know if you're aware of the petrodollar, but the reason that America's US dollar is a reserve currency is because energy is being sold in US dollars. The only reason that the Gulf states use US dollars and is because the US dominates that area. If they wouldn't do that, then it wouldn't be their own coin. It would be a Chinese coin or an Iranian coin currency. So this is what they're trying to do. So it's easy to blame it on Israel, and of course, Israel also wants Iran gone. Not Iran, but the current regime, which just wants to destroy it for religious reasons and imperialistic reasons. But basically, when Iraq, for example, tries to get off the petrodollar, and then America finds a reason to attack them. Could be things they made up. They can blame Israel, but this is how it works, and it's a vacuum. It's not like everybody says America is responsible for all the wars. But if you look at Venezuela, for example, the moment America stopped intervening there, then it becomes a Chinese and a Russian country. It's not like they became independent. They had a dictator, which is way worse. So it's easy to blame everything on Israel and on the Jews, but your government is doing
Wait.
things that they want to do.
Hold on one second, you all. Let's see. There is. I want to make sure I get this right. Okay, Peter John Disbig. Okay, we got Tim Love, Timothy Love, and then Gon, Gon. We're gonna let him speak.
Bro, before we continue, could I reply on Arad first?
You said reply what?
On Arad, what he said before the others start introducing themselves.
Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, because he claimed that we shouldn't just simply blame everything on the Jews. Well, first of all, the petrodollar has been an international agreement that was taking place way back in history. That was
By
agreed upon.
force. By force.
Can you let me finish?
Raj,
Venezuela actually had a agreement with Saudi Arabia to get the petrol with.
Raj, give me 1 second. Listen, Arad, no one interrupted you when you were talking. And this is how we do things here. I know this is your first time. But don't come off your mic while people are providing their rebuttal. Let
No
them say what
problem.
they have to say. If you can't do that, you can just take yourself down. But we let you be heard now. Please respect the guests. Go ahead, Raja.
Okay, so he's claiming that that's the only and sole reason that the American dollar is in place in the Middle East. First of all, anyone who tried to get rid of the dollar has been unalived. Gaddafi, what's the previous, in what's it called? Burkina Faso, it has been the same thing. Venezuela has agreed to purchase petrol with the Saudis like 6 months before. 6 months before the president was kidnapped, he got it accepted that they would purchase the oil and petrol in Juan. Mexico and Brazil were behind them because it would be currency-wise much more cheaper and better for them. That's why they created BRICS. That's why they want to rebuttal the dollar long time ago. But anytime anyone tries to do so, you starting a war or you unalive their leaders. That's been what's happening. It's not because you control the region.
I thank you, Raja. We got a couple of other new folks. Timothy Love, did you have a chance to speak yet? And then,
No, not yet.
okay, go ahead, Timothy Love, and then we're going to go to Camille.
How about me, sir? I've been waiting.
Oh, I apologize. Let's get Peter
Okay, go
John.
ahead. He can go. He can go.
Yeah, let's get Peter John. I apologize, Peter John. For whatever reason, I thought I had you already.
That's
Go
fine.
ahead, Peter John.
So I have a different take on the whole thing. I am a black man. So as a black man, I see what's happening to my brothers and sisters, my black brothers and sisters in Libya, being sold as slaves. The atrocities that's happening in the Arab countries, how black people are treated. Okay, so for me, this is not my fight. The economy of the United States or the economy of European nations or the Chinese is not any of my concern because it doesn't affect well, it might indirectly affect me, but it's not our fight. I mean, I could tell you what has happened to us in Belgium, Congo by the Europeans. I can tell you the atrocities that happens to us by the Arabs. And for me, I can't put my thing in the middle of this. In regards to Iran, I do not agree with the war simply because the Persians are not Arabs, and the Persians have done nothing to me or to my people, to black people historically. So, with that being said, hey, whatever happens in the West and in the East, so long as they do it amongst themselves, it's none of my business. I don't have any qualms with the Jews. They have not committed atrocities towards black people directly that I know of. Therefore, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. That's the way I look at it. What's happening in Africa right now, in Libya, is horrendous. Where refugees who are trying to migrate to Lampedusa are being grabbed. They're being sold every Wednesday in a Wednesday market as slaves. In cases where their organs have been taken for black market to be sold, the torture, the extortion that's happening by the hands of the Arabs because they simply have melanated skin in this day and age is inhumane. So if you tell me to feel sorry for the Palestinians or for the Arabs, I'm sorry. I have no pity for them. This is my stand. So this is where I'll end.
Okay. All right. I appreciate you for your comment, Peter John. I do want to say this. When I hear people say what's happening over there don't affect me and I don't care. It's like that is really like a part of the problem because this thing is so interconnected that we really do have to look at it's all of our problem. If evil or corruption is in one place, we have to be moving to eradicate it. Otherwise, it does spread and it has spread so much to where it's out of control, right now to where we have to have this conversation. Let's get Timothy Love. You'll have an opportunity. Camille, let's see, Camille. Okay, Camille, you're gone. Timothy Love, and then Shari.
Okay, this is my opinion. I guess I could say allegedly. I think this is a spiritual war. And what I think is happening is that both sides, think, have committed uh, oaths in different ways uh, to serve the enemy, to serve Satan. And what I believe is happening, I think Satan is using both of these uh, people's pride and confusion to accomplish what he wants to accomplish. Because what he wants to accomplish, he wants to rule the world as God. He wants to be God, but he can't be God. And he's got people thinking all this all this stuff is about just money. It's not about money. That's an illusion. It's about what the thing is the human factor. People want this money, this power for themselves, and they're willing to corrupt other people and to do what they deem as smart decisions and stuff like that. They got their war strategies and all that stuff going on. But while all along, I think they're being used by Satan. And I do believe that Satan is real. And I believe also that he is a defeated foul. And what God says in the book of Revelations is going to happen. Uh, one day he'll be taken care of. So I just want to end my plane there.
Okay, thank you, Timothy. And I just want to tell you guys, there are so many nuances, to this, and different ways we can look at it, talking about it in parable, allegory, but what's happening in our face, it is happening in our face, and there is a living corruption that has been in existence, for hundreds, even thousands of years. And there are families and companies. It's like they are a real network. And as the king was looking to bring out, and I hope you followed me, the king, so we could talk more about those interests. But as he was trying to bring it out, they do have these interests that the vast public are not aware of. And their interest, it has nothing to do with like peace and morality. They're going to get it how they get it. And if that means 1 million people will suffer and or lose their life, it's like that's what's going to happen. And we have people like colonizer number one and colonizer number two, that's the face, right? I don't think we understand how minuscule they really are to the depth, of what's going on. But this is who we have positioned that we can see, that we can identify, with. But it's the and we're kind of out of time, right now. I was looking to do an hour and a half, and we've gone into about 2 hours, I think, if not, maybe I don't know. But I gotta go, and I appreciate you all for again showing up
Thank you.
Thank
and
you.
sharing your thoughts and
Thank you,
Thank you so
Pops.
much.
Thank you for having us.
with us.
I just
Yes.
wanted to say to Timothy to proclaim that it has nothing to do with the Africans is sad because it's all intertwined with each other. It's a part of it. I hope we gets to see that because I do care for the African continent.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. This thing is so intertwined, and we can talk about it in so many different ways. And again, like when I hear people say, that's not my problem, I'm like, you're the problem.
Yeah, the
And
other guy, like the same guy, the one you are dropping off, he said, like, it's not my problem what's going on here, there. You know what I'm saying? Because the
Bro,
problem anywhere is going on. A lot of problem. Everyone, all humanity
Yeah,
deserve to live peace and respect, you know?
yeah, sure. For example, the biggest stockholder for blood diamonds is a Jew. They take control of, you know, Congo, Sudan. Sudan is.
Raza, you got to say allegedly. I don't want them to flag you too, Raza. You know, so
Yeah, yeah. Some other time we will discuss this, inshallah. Take care.
yeah,
Thank you for
and
having
there,
me.
yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah,
merit to what's being said, but you see, they're very
yeah,
sensitive, and we really do
yeah.
have to be.
Everyone around the world deserve to live peace and respect. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
And
that's
all humanity.
that's easier said than done. You know, Ali, thank you for, your thoughts. Everyone around the world has to live with peace and respect. Those were Ali's last words. But the question, you all, how do we do it? And if we're leaving it up to the colonizer to bring peace and respect, we'll never get it. But if we can create true lanes of networks between people like Raja, like Ali, and some of the guests that were on the stage, that we can use our energy, we can use our interest against their interest, then we can stand a chance. But individually, they know nothing is going to happen, and they'll continue, to strive, because they're not thriving, they're struggling. You can't be prosperous in corruption. It's just a moment before the impact of the collapse. And with that, I say good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, and thank you all for sharing this time, with me today. Be safe.